Firstly, you should know that nausea and vomiting is an unpleasant sensation, and feeling sick to your stomach and throwing up. Secondly, you should be aware of all such aggravating factors which makes nausea and vomiting sensation worse. These factors include pregnancy, eating contaminated food, drinking too much alcohol, motion sickness, having recently stopped taking steroids. In general, vomiting blood is more serious than just vomiting. Now there are some important questions that you need to ask your patient before making a diagnosis. You will ask the patient what symptoms they are experiencing, including fever, feeling as if the room is spinning, ear ringing, headache, change in movement or mental function, excessive thirst, chest pain, diarrhea, abdominal pain or swelling, black or bloody bowel movements, vomiting blood, white stools, dark urine, results of tests of gastrointestinal function, yellowing skin or previous blood transfusion, red spots on skin, skin bruising, muscle aches and weakness. You will ask your patient if they or anyone of their family has had any of these conditions: blood vessel problems in the esophagus, ulcer disease, gastritis, liver disease, alcoholism, diabetes, blood disease, bleeding disorder, gastrointestinal bleeding, cardiovascular disease, pregnancy. You will ask the patient what he have been throwing up and how much he had thrown up. You will ask the patient if he had been in recent contact with people suffering from nausea and vomiting, or the liver disease, or hepatitis. If the patient is vomiting blood, you will ask the patient how many times this has occurred, how much blood the patient is throwing up, and whether the blood appears bright red or darker brown. You should ask if he is taking any medications, including aspirin, warfarin, Coumadin, the painkiller indomethacin, alcohol, or steroids. Now that you are well aware of the symptoms of your patient, your main role starts here, because you have to examine the patient. Well, this physical examination includes checking temperature, blood pressure, pulse, thorough eye exam, pushing child's abdomen, checking the throat, checking stool for presence of blood, testing your memory, and thorough skin examination. Now, what can cause nausea and vomiting in adults? And what is typical for each cause? Well, there are different causes of nausea and vomiting in adults that you should be clear about. Now, if the patient shows symptoms like lack of menstrual cycle, then this might give you an indication that the patient has pregnancy. Well, nausea and vomiting, lack of menstrual period that occur early in pregnancy is also known as morning sickness. But if your patient has typical symptoms like chronic nausea, then this might be an indication to chronic indigestion. Well, chronic indigestion is defined as trouble digesting food. And what if your patient is having diarrhea, abdominal pain, mild fever, muscle aches, occur after eating contaminated food? Then these symptoms might be caused by acute gastroenteritis, which is in fact infection of the stomach. And if nausea or vomiting is accompanied by diarrhea, abdominal pain, mild fever, muscle aches, light stools or dark urine, yellowing skin, or it has occurred after contact with people infected with hepatitis, then acute hepatitis might be a reason to this. Well, this is actually a liver infection. Now, if the patient has nausea, vomiting but otherwise normal, then this might give you an indication that patient has this condition due to medication, chemical, and alcohol. So taking too many medications, chemical, and alcohol causes nausea and vomiting. Now, if the patient shows symptoms like vertigo, motion sickness, ringing in ears, then this might give you an indication that patient has labyrinthine disorders. Well, labyrinthine disorders mean inner ear problems. Now, if the patient shows symptoms like history of diabetes, excessive thirst, loss of appetite, excessive secretion of urine, then this might give you an indication that child has diabetic acidosis. Well, diabetic acidosis is built up of substance in the blood as a result of diabetes. Now, if the patient shows symptoms like tiredness, abdominal pain, occasional fever, often occurs after abrupt cessation of steroids, irritability, then this might give you an indication that patient has adrenal insufficiency. Well, adrenal insufficiency is lack of hormones made by adrenal glands that result from suddenly quitting caffeine. What if your patient is having headache, changes in muscle strength or mental function? Then, these symptoms might be caused by brain swelling, which is in fact a condition of swelling of brain and its coverings. What if your patient is having chest pain, history of heart disease, sweating? Then these symptoms might be caused by myocardial infarction, which is in fact a condition of heart attack. What if your patient is having burning upper abdominal pain, relieved by food or antacids, worsened by aspirin or ibuprofen, worsened by alcohol? Then these symptoms might be caused by peptic ulcer, which is caused by severe irritation of the stomach or lining of intestines. What if your patient has a painless condition and can occur after taking too much aspirin or drinking too much alcohol? Then, these symptoms might be caused by gastritis, which is in fact a condition caused by severe irritation of the stomach. Now, what if your patient is vomiting blood with yellowing of skin? Then these symptoms might be caused by esophageal varices, which is a state of blood vessel problems, varices associated with the esophagus, that occur most often in people who drink heavily. Now, if the patient has history of long bouts of retching before vomiting blood, then this might give you an indication that patient has esophageal tears. Well, this is tear in the esophagus resulting from prolonged vomiting. Now, if the patient has history of bleeding easily or excessively, then your patient has bleeding disorders which are defined as problem with bleeding, such as trouble in blood clotting. So now, if you are clear about your findings, you can manage your patient accordingly or do further investigations if required. That was all about the differential diagnosis of nausea and vomiting. To watch more such videos, do visit DDX category only on sqadia.com.